Hi, my name is Megan, and I'm a resident at Gaston and Ramazani, and I'm going to take you through Gaston.
Hi, welcome to Ramazani. I'm Emma, and I'll be showing you around.
We're going to walk down Gaston. It's a pretty big building because there's so much here. To the left, right next door, is Student Health and Wellness. So there's med services and anything you could possibly need. We're also really close to Bond and Vice. So yeah, it makes it really fun to kind of live here and be so surrounded by a big community in such a big building itself. Makes it feel a little bit smaller. So this is one of the entrances to Gaston. And once you enter, there's a special dining room just for Gaston residents. We can have dinners here. A lot of times RAs like to host programs. It's just a really nice space just for Gaston and Ramazani residents, kind of separate from the rest of the dining. But we also have a lot of the dining facilities as you walk in. It's all on the first floor. So right when you walk in, there's just a bunch of food. There's the den, which has burgers and pancakes. They're open pretty much all day. You can also get shakes, late night fries. We also have sweet potato fries, which is my personal favorite. We also have a rotating kitchen called Launch. Launch just rotates through a menu every 2 weeks. Right now, I think it's a backyard barbecue. And then we're walking up on the Amazon storefront. It's open 24 hours, and you're able to kind of get snacks, medicine, Gatorade, anything that you really need whenever you want. And now we're passing by Whisk. Whisk is coffee and pastries, and it's honestly, I think, a staple of most Gaston residents in the morning. And all of these options are meal exchangers, so it makes it really easy. So now we're entering into Gaston. And this is the door that you would enter in if you were a resident. And to your right, you'll see a study space. It's one of our living rooms in Gaston. A lot of times residents will study in there. There's also programs. And then we also have another living room. And you can see here people study and use the big boards a lot of the times. And then we also have a fireplace, a fire pit, and 2 sections for kind of just like hanging out, doing work, studying, watching TV. A lot of times residents put on sports games, so it's a really fun opportunity to kind of get to know everyone. And then there's the laundry room. So right on the first floor, you're able to access all of your laundry, and yeah, it's like just an elevator ride down, so it's really simple, really easy. And then each floor has a study room. And each one has whiteboards, there's markers supplied, there's couches, tables, chairs, and it's on each floor. So now we're on the Gaston patio. It's right outside of the dining hall, and it also connects to our residential hall. We have a lot of fun programs out here. We have projected movies. We put up big sheets and kind of sit out here and hang out with the picnic tables, or you can come eat lunch. It's kind of covered, so it makes it really fun.
This is the front entrance. Lots of study spaces on the ground floor. I can show you around. This fireplace lights up at nighttime. There's lots of study spaces in the corner. Very open, lots of light. This is our laundry room. So we have lots of machines in here. And both Ramazani and Gaston have their own washing rooms. So this is it. Great place to hang out with your friends, do homework at night. It's not usually super busy. It is Friday today, so we have a lot of people down here. But normally there's always a spot that's open. RAs will sometimes host programs down here for larger groups. This is an example of a study room. Every study room has whiteboards to do homework on. And here we have a few more study rooms. This is an example of people using the whiteboard to do homework. This TV you can connect to, so students will watch movies, do PowerPoint nights, whatever they want with this TV. And then over here, we have our kitchen / gathering room. It can fit up to 42 people. There's a fully furnished kitchen that everyone can use whenever they want. Yeah, I had a Roots Squared program here. We catered roots, and then we talked about like our traditions, backgrounds, cultures. This is a great place to host programs as RA, especially if it's a food-based program. We'll lay out all the food here and then do activities, sitting at the table, getting to know everyone. So this is an example of the study space. We have one on each floor. It's a really great place to hang out, bring your friends. It helps build community to have a space to share with everyone on your hall. And people like to do work here together. As you can see, someone is doing some organic chemistry. So right over here we have an electric fireplace. So sometimes our SR will host s'mores nights. This lights up. It's a great place to hang out. It's a 2-minute walk to Now Hall, so I have a class there in the morning and I only have to wake up 10 minutes before. Welcome to an 8-person apartment in Ramazani. Every floor has 2 8-person apartments and 1 7-person apartment. So this is an example of an 8-person apartment.
Residents have 8 to 7 people in each, and they all kind of look very similar to this. So when you walk in, there will be a living room. There's a big kitchen table for all of you to have dinner at.
So this is the dining room. It seats 8 people. It's a really large table, very open space. Lots of light comes through. Great view as well.
And then over here, we have big, beautiful windows and a nice living space.
This is the living room. You get furniture already with the apartment.
All the furniture comes with it. The kitchen table comes with it. And something fun about Gaston and Ramazani is they're right next to each other, so a lot of times people talk through post-it notes. So it's a really fun way to kind of stay connected.
There's 2 sectioned off areas. They both have their own kitchens. So this is one kitchen for 4 people.
Gaston and Ramazani have 2 kitchens. Going down the hall, you'll see more bedrooms and then 2 bathrooms. This is what one of the bathrooms looks like.
For the 7-people apartments, there's only 3 bathrooms, but for the 8-person apartments, there's 4. So 1 bathroom per 2 people.
You'll have a full mirror and then just as much space as you could ever imagine, and then a full shower. This side is the second part of the apartment, so it'll be split up into 4 again, and you'll have another kitchen.
So this is for the other 4 students who live on the other side of the apartment. Each comes with their own fridge. This is an example of the air fryer / microwave. It's huge, very convenient. So this is an example of a room. Each room comes with a bed. It comes with some drawers as well as a desk with a fun little lamp that just lights up.
You get 2 dressers. They can go underneath your bed, and you'll also get this bed with a nice big frame on the back. There's a headboard that has outlets, and the outlets will have a USB-C charger as well as a USB and just typical plug-in ports, and same with your desk.
It also comes with a closet. It doesn't come with these, but you can buy some and put them up to carve out some space in your bedroom. And pretty large for a single room.
You kind of have everything you need all right here in Gaston.
It's a very quiet building, but it's still like really packed with community and people who all really care about each other.
At the same time, you're able to branch out and go to student health and wellness or go visit people at Fireplace.
This location is much more convenient. All my classes, they're all right across the street.
I think it's truly like the first that UVA's ever had something like this where you're integrated, like you have academic advisors integrated into the housing, and then you have food integrated.
New food being right next door, while also not getting the crowd from the people eating the food.
And then you have all these spaces that are intentionally made to get to know people and also to
There's always somewhere you can go study in quiet. It's just so spacious. It's a great place to live.
You're so close to grounds that you're able to still connect with people even though you may want to stay home because it's so beautiful. The community at Gaston and Ramazani is kind of like nothing I've ever experienced.
There's so many large groups of friends and they all really get along.
Having 8 people in a suite or 7 people in a suite, instead of bringing one friend to something, you have 7, 8 people coming with you.
Everyone is friends with each other and everyone gets along, and it's very nice to just see that community being built.
People kind of are more outgoing because they have so many people, and there's always someone around that they're able to kind of touch base with.
The fact that they have their own space in their own rooms, no one has a roommate, they just live in the same apartment as other people.
Having your own room, I think, definitely gives you that time to have to yourself.
It still gives them their privacy. Once they leave their room, they can bond with people, meet new people.
We're able to kind of, get to know each other in a safe way. People are able to engage or disengage as much as they would like.
There's just so much space, so there's not really like competition for that space, which I think also helps with like the camaraderie. A lot of students actually ended up having smaller friend groups and then living together because they knew friends of friends. They all came in not really knowing each other, only knowing 1 or 2 people. So it's actually just an opportunity to get to know a bunch of new people.
We're able to kind of connect with them through the programming that the Housing and Residence Life community kind of put on, and then also just doing it by themselves and having little movie nights and baking desserts. So that was very cool. Ramazani has my heart a little bit, just because I'm a baker, so they have the kitchen, and the fireplace. It's like my real favorite.
I really like the coffee spot. I know it's in Gaston. It's so convenient waking up and getting like fresh homemade coffee.
The lounge spaces that we walked through with the little fireplace. You're in your own little space, but then you hear someone over the way, and you just kind of are able to be like, oh hey, how are you? And kind of get to check in, but then go back to what you were doing.
I do really like the kitchen. It's also a great place to interact with each other over an activity. It's a really great way to get to know someone.
I also really like the patio outside. I really get a lot of enjoyment from being out in the sun. And the lights at night just give kind of a very calming sense to them. I'm more outgoing because of it. I'm so excited to be here and I want to get to know the people in it, but I also want to use the spaces right.
It's so much easier to be present and do things across the university. Once your walking goes to 10 minutes or less to the middle of grounds.
Being able to have access to so many different things around student health and wellness, and there's the lawn right there, so you can kind of just be connected all the time.
I feel like it's just been a less stressful way of living. First, think about what is important to them. If they say want an amenity like a pool, and that's the most important thing to them, then it's understandable to live off grounds. But if the things that you prioritize are community,
there won't be another time that you'll kind of have this many people invested in what your life is looking like in your home and how you're feeling in your home. They say college is a bubble, and sometimes it's nice to live in a bubble and use up every resource there is.
The ability to have people that are all in the same place as you. And not just the same place physically, but the same place emotionally. It's just another resource that you get from living on grounds that is super useful.
I've lived on grounds each year and I learned something new from each of the places that I've been at.
It's really changed the perspective of upperclassmen housing. There's so many people who come here to hang out with their friends, even though they don't live here. It's a nice space for bringing people together.
The community is super engaged and super just outgoing and involved and supportive. They challenge you and they challenge your ideas and challenge who you may have thought yourself to be.